They don't have any connection. They are going through the motion. In Crawford boy and 70-year boy. In Crawford be and on TSA baby. In Crawford see Jesus, so we say Jesus. They have no connection. If you ask them why they pray, they don't know. No connection at all with God. Why? Because they think they can generate their own airtime with God. No, it can't happen. So then for 30 long years, Abraham lost airtime. He lost connection with God. It was God that came to re-establish the connection. And after the re-establishment of the connection, now we saw that the relationship between Abraham and God became cordial again. How can two work together except they agree? Abraham was in disagreement with God, so he was disconnected from God. When God came the second time, then the second time he became connected with God, and then they agreed. When he agreed with God a second time again, then the connection was established. So who established the connection? Was it Abraham or God? It was God. You need him. You cannot generate your own airtime. Prayer starts from God and not from man. And we said it last. He began to work and to save. He began to work and to do what? To save. Why is he saving? Because he hoped to have a house. So if you ask him what is the house, he said the house is in the future. Are you sure you're going to get it? Yes, because I am saving some money. So the money that he's saving gives him faith. You understand? You understand that he will get it done. He will build that house. So many times when a person is hopeless, you tell that he's going nowhere. You can tell. So here was Abraham. 13 long years became hopeless. Why? Because when God came down to see why Abraham was hopeless, he came to see Ishmael. So God said, oh, but I promised you. Why have you taken your eyes off the promise? Bring your eyes back on the promise. He said, walk before me and be perfect, because at that time, Abraham had not been perfect with God. He is not working in agreement with God. So he said, walk before me and be perfect. What is perfection? Knowing what God wants from you or want to do and you agreeing with it. Perfection. So then when God is now trying to take his mind off Ishmael and bring it on Isaac, he was still presenting Ishmael. So God said, no, Abraham. He became hopeless. Now give us 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 13. Don't forget, we're talking about airtime, connection with God. Connection with God. It's not always that when one is praying that means he's connected to God. We have some, you are not opening your mouth, but you understand, anybody that sees you can tell that you are connected with God. Prayer is just one of the ways where we connect with God. It says, and now abideth faith, hope, and charity. These three. But the greatest of these is charity. It says, now abideth. Other verses says, continue. Make sure that as a believer, these three things are in your life every single day. Don't miss them. If you miss any one of them, you lose connection with God. God connects with us through our faith. He connects through our hope. He connects through our love. So in the instance where you don't have any of these three, you lose connection with God. Now abideth. Now abideth. Now abideth. This should be your lifestyle as a Christian, as a believer. You should not be devoid of hope. You should not be devoid of faith. You should not be devoid of love. You understand? Are we together? So we see that in the life of Abraham, as we use him as a case study, we could tell that when he became hopeless, he lacked faith. And then his lifestyle began to prove that his love for God is no longer there. He's lost his love. His first love. He has lost it. But listen, the Bible says the greatest of these three is charity. Is charity. And let me quickly define what charity is. Charity is giving an action to your love. Period. Charity is giving an action to your love. You can write it down. Charity is giving action to your love. So you can tell, you cannot be charitable until you have love. When you love somebody and you prove, you go the extra mile to prove that you love him, that is charity. So he says, so King James says that, other version says love. But King James maintains charity. Why? Because people love, but they don't show it. If you don't show it, you don't have it. If you love me, you got to show it. We have some people that are doubting the love of others because even though the people say we love, they don't show that they love. So then you don't trust him again. Love is not in words, it's in deeds. It's action. So anytime you give action to your love, it becomes charity. The face of love is charity. The attitude of love is charity.